on YouTube.
Nice. So I can split screen.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
What
Nobody's
is?
watching yet.
I know. Let's see. So yeah, but yeah, it's always fun. Baseball week out, not less
Yep.
than a week out now. We got days.
Days.
It's insane.
All right. Well, if anyone's watching, welcome to episode 35 of the Double A Sports
35.
Podcast.
It's insane. 35. Can't believe the
35.
season's over.
Yeah, man.
It's
We are
like,
almost there. We got a lot of teams that locked it up so far, and mostly in the AL. All
yeah,
the teams in the NL are trying to get in.
yeah. AL's couple teams can flip flop if something happens, but NL is guys can come out of wire if these teams. Well, the playoff team's currently losing. It's going insane, like how close these games are going to come down to the wire. So, but biggest thing, I guess we could start off first is Justin Verlander, and not great news because we all thought he'd be back this week, or at least get a start or two in before the playoffs. And well, that's not going to happen because he's going to need Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Verlander, former alumni of ODU, he's also a Cy Young winner. He's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He's going to miss the entire 2021 season. And I believe that's significant because that's when his contract ends with the Astros at the end of that season. Right?
Yes.
So at this age, I mean, he's 37 years old. He's going to be 39 by the time he can potentially come back. There's a lot of unknowns in between that time, plus age. If he comes back at all, which I'm kind of hesitant about, I think he might retire. If he does come back, he's going to have to take a lesser role. I don't think he'll be a starter.
Yeah, because, he hasn't pitched. He only pitched the season debut July 24th. He announced in the video that during a simulated game to get, this week to get ready for this, to maybe come back, he felt something in the elbow. And they believe for whatever reason that it's Tommy John. He believes everything happens for a reason. Although 2020 has sucked, hopefully his rehab process, it all said and done, will allow me to change the end of my career and as healthy I want to pitch as long as I can. But like I said, this is going to miss him next year, which is last year's contract. Supposed to make, I think, was it 33 million next year.
Yeah.
Then he becomes a free agent.
Exactly. I'm just saying it's going to take a lot of hard work to get back to being a pitcher after having Tommy John. And he's already at a high age. Like, he's an older pitcher.
Yeah.
I think he's going to want to get a family going. I don't know, man. I feel like he's going to have a kid on the way by the time.
He already has one kid.
But what I'm saying is he's going to have a lot of downtime. So he might have another kid, and then he might not want to come back.
Yeah, he'll just turn 39 right before pitchers and training report for that season. So if he does miss the whole season and can start, but who will sign him?
Will his body let him pitch? Is what I'm saying. It's just tough coming back from Tommy John. All the guys we see nowadays are coming back from Tommy John at young ages. Like they're getting like Strasburg when his first couple years in, and whoever else is getting it done at this time is mostly young guys.
Yeah,
I don't see many older pitchers at 37 getting Tommy John and then coming back to play.
Yeah, if they do, I don't think it's a starting role. I think it's going to have to be bullpen. But
that's what I'm saying.
Will he be open for that?
Right. And if he wants to pitch as long as he can, he might need to be open to that because there's not going to be many people willing to pay him at his rate because he's going to be an expensive guy regardless of how you chop it up to be a starter. I mean, there might be somebody who might take a chance, but I feel like he's definitely going to have to take a lesser role. I think a closer maybe. I mean, if he still has his stuff, he could be a long reliever, but nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, the biggest thing is who's going to take the chance, what they're going to pay him, and it's going to be a 1-year deal most likely if he gets it done. And so does Astros take a shot? But by then, that might be a rebuilding team, so they might not want to re-sign them.
That's what I'm saying, and they're not going to want to pay $33 million for a guy who just had Tommy John at 39. We're going to talk about the league minimum, maybe a $8-7 million deal if he's lucky.
Yeah, incentive base, a lot of
$5 million, $4 million with incentive
stuff. Yeah,
exactly. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. It's unfortunate, when the Cy Young last year and make one start and 1-0 with a 3 ERA this year, but man, that's got to hurt the Astros' chances.
As much as I loved Verlander, one of my favorite players, because he came out of ODU and he's killing it. I just don't see it in the stars for him. I mean, if he comes back, great story. I just don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, let's see how my rehab goes, and if my body says let's go try it one more time, let's go. If not,
Yeah,
I had a great career. I have a Hall of Fame career. I got my
absolutely.
title. I've gotten multiple no hitters,
Nothing to prove.
MVP awards, Cy Young awards.
He's
Like,
he's on the cover of games. He's married to a supermodel. Nothing to prove.
yeah. So then it'll just be pride to see if he can do it. But I guess we'll
Yeah,
see within a year.
we'll see. We'll see what his
Well,
mindset's like. If he's all about baseball, you never know. Ballers, they ball. That's what they
yeah,
do.
yeah. So I think next thing we got to start talking about is teams clinching playoff spots.
Yeah, yeah. So we got tons of teams in the playoffs. I mean, the first one we got to is what everybody thought would happen: the Dodgers. I mean, the
Yeah,
Dodgers are 38-16. If you got 38 wins in this season, you are automatic. I mean, that's it.
yeah,
That's a lock.
yeah.
They're
We
6-4. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're 6-4 in their last 10. They've just been consistently winning in winning series. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, like we figured a 500 team would get you to the playoffs, and man, have they improved. We thought who they would be. They're averaging 5.7 runs a game with the best team ERA in the MLB with a 3.06. So they have the team we all thought they would. Classic Clayton has showed up after missing his first couple starts. Mookie's writing his own history with LA. So with Clayton, with his 9 starts this year, he's 6-2 with a 2.15 ERA.
Yeah,
After missing, like, that's it. And then Mookie, he's not having a bad season either. It's just reigning MVP for the Dodgers has gone missing this year, and Bellinger only batting 231 with still have 11 home runs, but 27 RBIs. But there's so many people there, and that team can step up, and they have, and they're still just winning.
And think about if Bellinger gets hot in the playoffs and everybody else plays the way they are, they don't need him to get hot. But if he does, it's a wrap.
Yeah, like when you have Mookie Betts playing a game at second base, which he does not play in just because you have too many people.
Yeah,
that's an issue. That's a good issue to have.
It is a good issue, right?
Yeah, because by golly, someone goes down, I could throw you there, throw someone in here, like you'll figure it out. Well, the next team who clinched at least a playoff spot is not a surprising team, but surprising who's the first from the AL to clinch, which would be the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, man. And, you and I, we both like the White Sox. We thought they had a good chance. They started out rocky. They fixed their issue. They're 34-20. They're also 6-4 in their last 10. And what can I not say about them? I mean, they got Abreu on the team who could easily be the MVP this year. He's got 50 plus RBIs, 18 home runs.
So, like I said, great young team that can make this deep run to the postseason. Their pitching has the 4th best ERA in baseball, the 3.53, and they're averaging about 5.2 runs a game, which is not bad. Dallas Keuchel, one of the signings they did this offseason, is leading the way for that pitching staff with a 2.04 ERA at 6-2 record. And like you said, Abreu, breakout year, batting 335, 18 home runs, 53 RBIs.
Yeah,
and
man.
then,
Giolito.
Giolito doing the no-hitter.
Yeah.
You got Tim Anderson going for his 2nd straight batting title this year.
Tim Anderson, real deal.
And then you got Luis Roberts, rookie, just breaking out for them. It's going to be a scary team come playoffs.
Yeah, and I love it. And I really like the team. Great, solid core group of guys. I love to see them go against the Yankees in the AL matchup.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. See who's right now ranked against who that wild card round. It's gonna be a very interesting 3 games. Because man, if you lose that first game, it's tough for you.
It's gonna be
real tough.
All right. Well, let's talk about the next team. The next team that's in for sure is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Which actually they have a shot to lock up the division tonight, either with a win against the Mets or a Yankees loss tonight. But this was my pick for the AL to win it all. When we did the preseason pick, they have one of the lowest payroll in baseball. But somehow, as we watched the Mets game last night, they're not a solid team by numbers wise, but they put it together. They're averaging 4.8 runs a game have a team ERA of 3.66. We knew they'd be a playoff team, but winning the AL East, which most likely should be done maybe tonight or tomorrow, it's kind of surprising because the Yankees with signing Garrett Cole. You're like, oh, this is the team to beat in the AL. And man, they had some injuries.
Yeah, dude. If you talk about the Yankees lineup up and down, I mean, you just mentioned Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. This alone, you should be thinking nothing but runs. But the Tampa Bay Rays, they're 36-19. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games. They're going to be a tough team.
Very tough team. And like I said, they're not a power hitting team. But they're winning games, and when pitching's on, they're one of the best pitching teams in baseball with a bunch of young guys. With, Snell's pitching tonight against the Mets. Former Cy Young. It's just they have so many young pitchers and guys that can go and be Cy Young candidates and all-star pitchers. It's just a scary team, especially that first round, that 3-game series. You throw the 3-head monster out there, it'd be tough to beat in the 3.
Right. But at the same time, it would suck to do this well and get taken out in the first 3 games because
God,
you
yes,
can't get hot. And playoffs. The hard part is getting to the playoffs, but once you get there, the hardest part is staying hot.
Very much so.
It doesn't matter who gets in. You sneak in there. Half the field's going to get in there. You sneak in there and you get hot for 2 games. Who knows what's going to happen? As we can see from the Nationals last year. So you see what they did. They weren't even supposed to be there. They were supposed to lose that game. They were out. The game was done. Somehow they came back and won. And now the wild card game. And then guess what? You saw what they did.
Elite pitching gets you.
Yeah.
Like Astros last year had that elite pitching, carry them to the World Series. Nationals did, and they won the World Series. So can elite pitching from Tampa Bay make that deep run this year? Can't wait to watch and find out.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
So the next team that clinched a playoff spot actually last night clinched the division for the AL West, and that is the Oakland A's.
Yeah, man.
It's not a shock that they are going to the playoffs. It's a shock that they won the division, because this was a lot of people were talking about that this is going to be a team that win the division. Everyone still had Astros. So they still think they were the better team, but Oakland, they started hot and they just kept the throttle on.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, preseason, everybody was hot on the Astros. They figured they were going to go back and then take over this automatically. But Oakland's like, not so fast. We're here to win. They're 33-20. They locked it up. They're 5-5 in their last 10. But like you said, you and I both thought they were a pretty good team going into this. We just didn't know how good. And with a short season, anything can happen. And guess what? They got enough wins to lock it up, and they're going to be something to think about.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was the young pitching in a short season. Can they get around? And they did, with the ERA having the 5th best in baseball with a 3.64, and the team is averaging 4.75 runs a game. You can't be mad at it. But the biggest thing, the question mark around this team right now, is the loss of Matt Chapman in the postseason.
Exactly.
Will Jake Lamb step up and help, in this postseason woes for Oakland, or will they make a run? It's going to be tough, losing your star player, but we've seen stuff where people have stepped up and they've gone runs, and Oakland could be that team.
They could. They absolutely
that Moneyball team.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about the next team. The next team is the Yankees. Everybody knows.
It's not a surprise that they're in the postseason.
It's not a surprise at all. A little bit of a surprise because preseason, everybody was injured. Lucky for them, they got an extra
COVID break.
Exactly. So they're 31-23, 8-2 in their last 10. They're definitely heating up.
Yes, very heating up, much so right before the season. And the biggest thing was we'll say about mid-season is all those injuries.
Right.
But, the Yankees have scored a staggering 43 runs in a 3-game sweep over the Blue Jays. It has a 5-1 record last week. The offense is fired on all cylinders, but the question mark around them is that pitching rotation. Like with rookie Garcia, got knocked around Sunday. So what team will show up during the playoffs?
It's tough. But
yeah,
the good thing for them is, like you said, what did they do in the last 3 games? Scored 40-something runs?
43 runs.
Right, and they're 8-2 in their last 10. Well, guess what? This is the best case scenario for Yankees fans. Yankees are getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, so the team ERA for this season is a 4.18, but they are averaging the 4th best runs per game in the baseball with a 5.32. So as long as the offense puts up runs and the pitching, which Garrett Cole's not having a great year, what everyone thought. He leads the team with a 3.0 ERA and 6-3 record, but he has given up way too many home runs.
Well, I agree. He's definitely not the pitcher they thought he was, but the Yankees are always built to be a hitting team. So they're hoping their hitters can get it done. Although they tried to improve their pitching, they're going to rely on their hitters a lot.
They are, but and Luke Volt definitely stepped up and carried the team while Aaron Judge,
Oh yeah,
Stanton, and all of them were out. Right
yeah,
now, leading the league with 21 home runs and 49 RBIs.
crazy man. Anybody could do it, and I'm not surprised on the Yankees because that's what they're built for. But yeah, surprising that he's the guy.
Yes. And the biggest question I bet for the Yankees now is if they are a top 4 seeds after this, if they somehow get the highest second place team, if Tampa Bay does lock it up tonight, they get to host the first round at home. But after that, they're not going to get to play in Yankee Stadium, where a lot of the hitters are used to playing.
That's true. That's true.
They're going to have to play at Dodger Stadium or Padre Stadium because they're the AL going to that bubble. So with the keep an eye, see what kind of offense shows up there when they have to go to California.
Exactly.
So, and the next team we got clinching in the AL is the Twins. Definitely one of the busiest teams this offseason in the winter. Their goal was to win and beat the Yankees. They're only 2 games out of the division with a week to play. It all is going to come down to the wire. They're averaging about 4.4 runs a game, but they have the 3rd best ERA in baseball with 5.1.
Okay.
Kenta Maeda got traded to the Twins after Dodgers said he was a reliever.
Yep.
He has a team best ERA with a 2.52 with almost no hitting the Brewers this year.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, man. Their team looks good. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 33-22, very similar to the Yankees right now. So if they got a matchup and they built their team to beat the Yankees, well, we'll see.
Yeah, they might get that shot first
They
round or
might.
second round. And then, old man DH Nelson Cruz is having an MVP year. So it's kind of funny, that they're getting all these guys that they signed and that maybe they would help, and they're showing up finally.
Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of these teams right now, their veterans are really stepping up. Like you said, Cruz for the Twins, and then Abreu for the White Sox. Some of the veterans are absolutely having great years right now. And Cano comes to mind for the Mets. He's killing it.
Yeah, it's just like it's like a normal 60 game. Like, okay, we're just gonna play baseball, where the young guys has got to get back into grooves.
Yep.
But then some young guys just start crushing it. Speaking of the next team we're about to talk about, I guess we just kind of say a surprising team.
Yeah. Slam Diego. So San Diego Padres, they're 34-20. If you haven't heard, they've been killing it this year. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they're not trying to stop. They're not slowing down. These guys are out there hungry. They are, man. This team is exciting to watch, for sure.
Very much so. The drought's finally over for Slam Diego. First time in the playoffs since 2006. We'll finally have October baseball. Unfortunately, it will not be in San Diego since they will have to go to the bubble. Well, most likely they will host the first round. They have the second best record in the NL, if I believe. So they'll most likely get the 4 seed. So they'll host the wild card round.
All
so
right,
at least they'll get 3 games if they have to go 3 games. But, Clevenger at the trade deadline, Zach Davis, Chris Paddock, bullpen stock with late inning arms, the team ERA at 3.87, 7th best in baseball, offensive, having an average of 5.6 runs per game. It checks all the boxes for title contender. And the return of Eric Hosmer and Toby Palm from the injured list makes this team even more dangerous going into the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Like you said, they made moves. They're like, this is our year. Let's go get it. I like what they're doing. I like this team. If they won the World Series this year, I would not be surprised.
No,
anybody could do it, and they're hot.
That GM, this was going to be the year for him. If they didn't do nothing, he was probably going to be fired. So he went all in, make the trades, made this stuff work. And then with Manny Machado and Tatis and the MVP talks for most of this year,
yeah,
man, it's going to come down to the wire, this MVP vote.
It really is, man. Look, these teams are doing great. The players are showing up. It's been exciting. So I can't wait to see I can't wait to see playoff baseball, especially since the MLB decided that they want fans in the stands. And we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, and then it's crazy because Tuesday the playoffs start. AL, we get all 4 games, but that Wednesday there's gonna be 8 playoff games, all 4 in each league for the wild card round. It's gonna be insane how much baseball is gonna be going on Wednesday next week. So let's go ahead and talk about it with his current standings in the playoff bubble. So with the American League, like we said, Tampa Bay has a chance to clinch the division tonight over the Yankees. All they need is a win against the Mets or a Yankees loss to the Blue Jays, which right now Tampa Bay is losing. And
Well, the one to watch is the Indians and the White Sox game, because the Indians can lock it up with a win against the White Sox as well. I don't know if you said that.
and right now Yankees are beating Toronto 7-1.
Okay.
So
like I said, another spot would be the Indians. They could lock it up against the White Sox,
yes,
or if they beat the White Sox tonight, which I believe it's tied 1-1, unless that's changed.
But so many games going on. Yeah, it's still 1-1, top 9.
Yeah, and then the Phillies and the Nats, they're tied at 6-6. So
Yeah,
we'll keep an eye on that for us Mets fans.
So and then so pretty much Toronto's the only one in the AL East that still has a shot to clinch a playoff spot, which right now they're 2 games above 500 with what was it? Like so they're losing right now. So that's get tough. But I think they need a Seattle loss to pretty much clinch that. I think same thing with Cleveland.
Well, I mean, hey, since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and get into the current standings and playoff seating. See what we're looking like.
Yeah, so so pretty much with the American League, it all comes down to where we already said there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that clinched.
Yeah, man, it's pretty tough because there's only 3 divisions. 5 teams are locked up already. Okay, that's basically it. So the AL East, right? We got Tampa Bay and New York. They're locked up in the playoff spots.
Toronto as the
Blue Jays are
seed.
The Blue Jays are 28 and 26 right now, so they're fighting for their spot.
Yeah, they're the 8th seed, but God, they have almost a 4 or 5 game lead. So if not tonight, maybe tomorrow night they can clinch. So really, it comes down to Houston, Seattle, and even Angels have a small slight. If like Houston needs to lose out, and then either Seattle or Angels need to win to get in to get that guaranteed spot locked up. So pretty much the wild cards are almost set for. It just comes out to that second AL West spot that's up for grabs. Most likely.
So you're saying that in the AL East, Tampa Bay, New York locked it up, and the Blue Jays basically locked it up as well. They're
very close. They could do it tonight or tomorrow, I think.
Right. Okay. So then in the AL Central, we have the White Sox are locked up and the Twins. So that division's locked. So the only other team that could possibly come out of there with a wild card are the Indians.
Yes,
30 and 24 now.
They can win, or they need a Seattle or an Angels loss.
Right. If they win tonight, though, but if they beat the White Sox, then they're in.
They're in. They'll be the wild card team.
So that whole side could be locked up.
Yeah.
But then if it is, some teams in the West still have a shot, because in the West we have the Athletics that are locked in only. The Astros are 27 and 27. Seattle's nipping on their feet at 24 and 30. And then the Angels are also 24 and 31. So that's a little bit tighter. They need a lot to happen. That could come down to the wire if the Astros continue to lose.
Yeah, pretty much Seattle is 3 games out and LA is 3.5 games out with 6 to play.
Exactly. So it's going to be very tight. Astros have to lose out or something has to happen.
Pretty much Seattle and Angels need to win out and need some Houston help.
Right. So basically the way it's set up this year is that Houston has a good chance of still making it into the show.
Yeah.
With a crap record. Hopefully they don't get hot, but you never know. Like I said, this is going to be one of those teams that sneaks in and then they're going to get hot.
Yeah. So if let's say the season ended today.
Okay.
Tampa Bay would have the number 1 seed, White Sox number 2, Oakland number 3, Twins number 4, Yankees number 5, Houston number 6, Cleveland number 7, and then Blue Jays at number 8. So we would get the first round, the wild card round as we can call it. Tampa Bay versus Blue Jays, Cleveland versus White Sox, Houston versus Oakland, and then Twins and Yankees wild card round.
Man, that's crazy that the Blue Jays are like
literally 3 of those matchups are all divisions.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So I don't care who you are, what team it is. If you're in a division, any team going to win that one. I always feel like the in-division ones are tough.
And just think about it. It's a 3-game series, so you're going to need to win 2.
Exactly.
Man, insane.
Especially
So
that East, man. Tampa Bay and the Blue Jays, that would be sick.
God, yeah, that would be, and it's just, and it'd be good for Blue Jays because young, very young team get their feet wet, even if they don't beat Tampa Bay, but hell, they shock people and they do.
Well, the good news is that it'll be a team that are familiar with seeing a lot of. So it's not like any like, oh, we're seeing the Astros and we've only played them a couple times or something. It's like, yeah, let's Tampa Bay. We know these guys. Let's go at it.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye to see the final seeding next week when the season ends on Sunday. Next is National League.
This one's way more interesting because it's not as locked up.
Yeah, because literally we only talked about two teams when we broke down who locked up, and that is two teams from the NL West with Dodgers and San Diego.
Yeah,
Everyone
Dodgers
else
at 38 and
still
60.
have not locked in yet.
Yeah, so the best teams here, like you said, are the Dodgers and San Diego, which are at 38 and 16, and San Diego's at 34 and 20. And then right behind them in the West is San Fran, which is 26 and 27. But yeah, so let's talk about the East then.
So in the NL East, Atlanta has a 4-game lead over Miami, and currently they are beating Miami 4-1. So really, they could lock that up within probably tomorrow. I think they play Miami again tomorrow.
So if Atlanta keeps beating Miami, that'll put Miami at 28 and 27 tonight if they lose. And then you got Philadelphia is at 27 and 27 next in line, but they're currently tied with the Nationals at 6 and 6. So if they lose, that opens up the door for another NL East team so the NL East isn't locked up at all, except for Atlanta's most likely going to lock it up.
Yeah, Atlanta's going to most likely get the division. They only need literally like 2 wins or a win and a loss, but they play Miami, and that's literally the closest team. So if Atlanta holds on to this lead they do right now, they'll have a 5-game lead going tomorrow. So they just got to beat Miami, and they locked the division up for the third straight year in a row.
So if you had to guess, who do you think would lock up the second seed from the East?
Right now, this will be interesting because if they hold on this lead, Miami loses. So, and then if Nashville somehow come out and win this game, and then Mets hold on to this win at Tampa Bay,
yes,
this will tighten everything up because Philly already lost once today because they're doing doubleheader with Washington.
Oh, so they're
only
7 and 28 right now.
Yes.
Because I think I had this.
Yeah, okay. I forgot to update mine because I forgot they had an earlier game. So yes, they're 27-28 right now. They're below 500. So this.
So where does this put the Mets in this situation?
So
you're saying, so let's say Miami, Philadelphia lose. Philadelphia's lost twice today. Mets get a W. What are we looking like?
So if you think about it, so we would be right now. Well, as of last night, we're 3 games behind Philly. Right now, I believe we're 2.5 out. Where if tonight, if we win, you're talking. What you call it? Let's see. So as of right now, yeah, we're 2.5 out of Philly. If they lose, we'll be 2 games, and if we win, you're talking 1.5 out of Philly.
Okay.
And then if Miami loses, you're talking 2 games out of Miami.
Oh man, I would love for this to come down to the last game. Wouldn't that be interesting?
It's good. It's going to. I feel like nothing's good. I think Atlanta will clinch this week the division.
Yeah, we're not worried about
the
Atlanta.
Other spots.
They're getting it.
It's gonna be God. It's gonna be where Sunday at 3:00 when all the games are playing. Teams are gonna keep going back and forth from the dugout to see the TV, see what other teams are doing. I feel like it's because everyone plays 3:15, 3:30 on Sunday.
Well, this only makes it interesting for Mets fans if the Mets can continue to win. They have to win out.
We have to have a shot.
Right. All right. Well,
it's a luck.
So the next one we need to talk about is the Central.
Okay, so right now the Cubs have a 4.5 game lead,
and they're in the same situation as Atlanta. They're most likely locked up.
Yeah, and let's see who they are playing right now. If they are playing right now, they should be playing right now.
Well, I know Darvish should be making a start right soon, and then Bauer should also be making.
Right now, Chicago is losing 2-0 to Pittsburgh.
Oh, great. Pittsburgh. What a wrench thrower. But it's not going to make much of an effect. No. The Cubs are basically locked up. St. Louis is next in line at 26 and 25. But Cincinnati's at 28 and 27.
and St. Louis is winning 3-0 right now, and Brewers is winning 3-2 over the Reds right now.
And the Brewers are 26 and 27, so the Brewers and Cincinnati are right there.
Yeah, like,
So this is another one that could be tight. Come down to the wire.
and then if I remember correctly, St. Louis has multiple doubleheaders coming up against the Brewers because of makeup games from the COVID outbreak earlier this season.
So the way that this is looking is that there's a lot of teams that could potentially lock up their second spot in their division, but also are fighting for a wild card at the same time.
Yes.
And they're all pretty tight.
Like the Central, literally all but Pittsburgh is in.
It's got a
hunt.
shot. Exactly.
So right now, St. Louis has the second seed, but only because of percentage, barely. So right now, Cincinnati Reds with Philly losing today has a 1-game comfortable lead over the 7th seed over the wild card. But with the loss today, really Philly, Brewers, San Francisco are all tied for the 8th seed right now.
Exactly. And then you got all the other teams nipping at their heels, like the Mets. They're trying to find a way in. Milwaukee's trying to get away. They're all close.
It's so tight. Close. Like we all said, 500 will get you in.
And I truly believe that, and it is true. And 500 will definitely, for the most part, get you in.
And Mets win out, they'll be at 500, the dot, if they can win out.
That's the magic number. 30 is the magic number, man.
But it won't be surprised how this NL and these games are going, and some of these matchups where a game below 500 might get you the 8th seed.
It could. It very well could. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be an exciting week. I can't wait.
So the playoffs ended right now. The Dodgers will have the number 1 seed, no doubt about it. Cubs will have the number 2 seed, barely. Then Atlanta number 3, and then San Diego gets number 4. Miami is holding at the East spot 2 right now at number 5. St. Louis Cardinals hold it barely right now at number 6. Reds, and then Philly has the 8th seed. So then right as it ended today, Philly would play the Dodgers. Okay. Cubs would play the Reds. Atlanta would play St. Louis, and then San Diego would play Miami.
Well, I think whatever scenario pans out, I think the Dodgers would be okay playing the Phillies first. It's not like their team's amazing, and I feel like the Dodgers definitely think they have a hand up against them.
I bet if anything, St. Louis would love the matchup against Atlanta because they have some payback from last year, from that. So they definitely want to.
Atlanta's tough, and I'm pretty sure isn't Max Fried back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the biggest thing right now we got to watch is Reds. If they get close, they had double headers. They already said they're willing to let Bauer go on short rest if needed on Sunday.
Okay.
If it is needed.
I hope he does. Look, I need all the help. DeGrom needs all the help.
So
14 Ks he just gave up to. It was so sad last night. But
someone put the fact out there that Miami is undefeated in the playoffs.
Ooh.
The 2 times they went to the playoffs, they won the World Series.
Ooh.
So it's kind of scary that, this team is like, oh yeah, this random team each year, wild card teams, both years.
Yeah,
they won the World Series. They never won the division.
Why not? It's a 2020. Why not?
And then, listen to the Mets game earlier. This will only be the 3rd time that a Rays clinch the division if they can do it tonight or tomorrow.
Well, also, just so you know, White Sox and Indians are going to over extra innings.
Well, I'm pretty sure Philly and Nationals are about to.
Yeah. So
they are.
This is great. All right. Well,
let's go ahead and talk about our players of the week.
Yes.
All right. So who you got for AL pitcher of the week?
My AL pitcher of the week is Tanner Hoke of the Red Sox.
Okay.
Last 7 days, he pitched 2 games, which he was credited with a win for both of them. It was 11 innings pitched total. He had 3 hits in both games total, 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA. Come on, man.
That's solid. That's very good.
Yes, it is.
I have a guy we talked about last week who almost had a no-hitter for the Kansas City Royals, Brady Singer. He went 1-0, and before that, he didn't have a good start. Well, I guess he figured out something because he went 1-0, 6 innings, only 2 hits allowed, and 8 Ks with no earned runs.
Nice.
So he's finally figuring it out. Unfortunately, only get one more start, but it's a bright
Right.
spot for Kansas City come next year, hopefully for them in the future.
All right.
So, how about your AL position player?
My AL position player was 100% in agreement with MLB's DJ LeMahieu of the Yankees. How can you not
Yeah,
pick this
you
guy?
couldn't like.
How can you not?
I was looking at other, I forgot who I almost had, but DJ just couldn't argue the stats this week since
Right.
coming back.
Right. Look, his last 7 games, he's been hitting 433, got 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. That's enough said.
Yeah,
He's crushed it. This whole week, crushed it.
very much so. Like, very strong outing. Like, coming off injury list, like we said, Yankees 43 runs against the Blue Jays, and he definitely helped.
Exactly.
But like I said, like I feel like he's been more of a Yankee Stadium player. Now, will he perform in the bubble? He's always been an average hitter,
Okay.
not power hitter, but he's been a power hitter since at Yankee Stadium.
Well, like I said, they got so many good players on their team. At any given moment, like the momentum can absolutely help you out when you're playing. And if everybody else around you is great, it's just going to bring it out of you as well. So I think he'll do fine.
Oh yeah, very much so.
All
So
right.
for
Well,
NL
yeah,
position pitcher player of the week for me, I have Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs.
Kyle Hendricks. Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
He went 1-0, 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, and 10 strikeouts.
Nice.
The Cubs are holding strong. They should lock up the division this week. And he's been one of the bright spots besides you, Darvish, unfortunately, Darvish's last couple starts.
Yeah.
But before that, those
Lights
two
out.
it's a great 1-2 punch, especially for a 3-game series and 5-game series.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be great. And
Absolutely.
So, who you got for your pitcher of the week?
My National League pitcher of the week is one of the guys who is absolutely in the running for the Cy Young now. Milwaukee Brewers, Corbin Burns. His last 7 games or 7 days, the last 7 days, he's pitched 2 games. He won 1 game. He pitched 10.7 innings, has 1 earned run, 19 strikeouts, and his ERA during those 2 games is a .84.
Yeah, like unfortunately, I think we'll talk about in the Cy Young, this NL Cy Young race next, but what's going to hurt his thing is beginning of the year when he was a relief pitcher for a while.
Yeah, I know.
I think
that's true. You're right.
But in September, he has been the pitcher of the month, clearly.
So
like slowly eating it away.
So if the Brewers can sneak in, look out for this guy.
Yes.
If not, definitely next year, keep your eyes on him because he's going to be something special.
Yeah, because they haven't been sure what they're going to do with him. He got called up his first year.
Mm-hmm.
He did a little bit of both. His last year was mostly out of the bullpen. This year they threw him a little bit bullpen and starting, but this month he has been the starter for them. That's helped him get close to this playoff race. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. He gets one more start and see what he does for the Brewers. So position player, I got a guy that you should know well.
Okay.
We know very well. We actually met him before.
All right. Who is it?
I have Atlanta Braves, Travis d'Arnaud.
d'Arnaud.
He has 12 hits, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and batting .429 this past week.
Look at him. And you know why? It's because they were playing the Mets, right?
A little bit of it, yeah.
I feel like every time we have a player who leaves our team and they play our team, they crush us. It's like a Daniel Murphy effect.
Unfortunately, with the Tommy John surgery, he's coming back. They didn't really give him a chance last year, but since then, he was almost an all-star with the Braves last year. Signed a 3-year deal with Atlanta, and so far is doing well for Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
Can't really argue.
It was funny when we met him because I think he was injured, and we were at the Nationals game. I was remember all the players getting on the buses. They were dressed up in like dresses and like tennis gear kind of stuff. Remember? Yeah. And then you're like, Alan's. We're like, I don't even know how you could see him. We were like looking
through the fence, and you barely saw. I can see his face.
Alan's like, I think that's Travis d'Arnaud. I was like, really? I was like, d'Arnaud, and he looked over like, hey man, sign this card. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I got a ball signed. You get cards. Great guy.
Yeah.
I love the trade that when we did with R.A. Dickey, because he was definitely the main piece, and Syndergaard was the second thought, and that worked out well. Yep. So, but unfortunately, just injuries. But I'm glad he's doing well. It's a good story. Man. But so, who you got for your position player of the week?
My position player is for the D-backs, Cole Calhoun. Last 7 days, man, he put together 11 hits with 7 runs, hit 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, even has a stolen base. His average during his last 7 games is .458. My man's on fire.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
6 home
Fortunately,
runs, dude.
fortunately for the team, is
Ah,
not.
yeah,
It's
yeah. You're right. Well, look, all this pitching talk. We need to get into the National League Cy Young Award race. What's happening here?
man. This race
It's tightening
went
up
from a three-headed monster
to a
to
lock.
a two-head monster
Right.
to a holy shit, it's wide open with a week to play.
Yep.
So what a week has made since we talked about this. Bauer's the only one still in the top 3 ERA. Darvish is now 7th in the ERA in the NL.
Yep.
DeGrom had an injury, gave up 3 earned runs. Now with the start last night, he lowered back down to 2.14. So with everyone getting a last start, with Bauer pitching tomorrow against the Brewers, he can also be ready for game 1, or if needed, like I said, the Sunday game if necessary. So that could actually help him out a lot if he gets an extra game compared to everyone else.
Yep.
And if he performs well. So break down, Max Fried will pitch tomorrow night against the Marlins, which could lock it up for Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corbin Burns should pitch Thursday against the Cardinals. San Diego's Dyson Lamet pitches Friday against the Giants. He's kind of in the talk a little bit. And then DeGrom will pitch Saturday against the Nationals.
Okay.
So if you had a vote, where are you leaning?
Well, all right. So my breakdown, and I'll give you. I'm leaning towards. It's either between Bauer and DeGrom.
Same here.
And DeGrom, like you said, last night was good for him. He had 14 strikeouts. He tied this. He has the lead for the strikeouts right now at 94. So that helps his case. But like you said, his ERA is 5th right now at 2.14, 5th best. So he needs some help. He's 11th in innings pitched at 63, but his FWAR is tied for first at 2.7. Trevor Bauer, on the other hand, he's got an ERA of 1.8, 88 Ks. His 9 innings, 65, and then 7th in FWAR. But Darvish, I think he's out of it. His ERA is at 7th right now. He's had a couple bad outings, like you said, 88 Ks. He's tied for 3rd there. He's tied for 3rd in innings pitched at 69. And then he's also tied in first at F4 with DeGrom at 2.7. So he has a shot. Everybody has a shot, but I still feel like Trevor Bauer and DeGrom have made a strong case this year.
Yeah. And then I think how tight this race is, it's going to come down to votes, like where we might see Bauer get like 7 votes, DeGrom might get 10.
Right. And
like first place votes, and then it's going to be so close.
I agree. And the reason I think you're right there is that people like a household name, and DeGrom has been the guy for the last 2 seasons. So if he's close like he is, I expect him to get votes.
Yeah, like you can't really argue. 14 Ks twice this year.
Yes,
in a game. He's averaging about 13 a game.
Think about that.
The highest fastball velocity in baseball this year, average.
He's the guy people want to watch.
Yeah, and and the Mets, the 10 starts he's had so far this year, or I think now 11. Before that, he was 8-2 when he pitched. Bauer, I know, has a 4-4 record. So yes, his ERA is low, but he has given up where the team has not batted behind him and got losses. But we've seen that so much time with DeGrom. But a lot of people say if Bauer gets an extra start, it might very benefit him because he'll have the extra innings pitch.
Agreed. But from what I understand, DeGrom's supposed to get another outing as well.
Well, they all get one more,
right?
But Bauer might get 2.
Okay. And then the last person in the mix, like you said, he probably doesn't have a chance because he started out as a reliever, Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
But his ERA is a 1.77, which is pretty damn good. Ks are 88, which puts him at 8 innings, is only at 56, and that's where the relief pitching was, which is tied for 21st. So I agree with you there, man. I think he pitched great this year, but I don't think he's a Cy Young contender. But even if he gets like 2 votes, that could take away from somebody else if DeGrom's getting majority of them.
So what I can see happening is DeGrom, Bauer, and Burns being the 3 finalists for the. So then it comes down to votes, where who gets the first place, who gets the second place, who gets the third place votes. And like, the years past, DeGrom has gotten 31 out of the 32 votes or whatever like that. Like, it's so close.
Yeah.
Where this might be where it might be like 10-7, or like it's going to be that close, or like where so many people get first place and the second place vote's going to count, where Bauer, DeGrom might just squeak it out barely, and be one of the closest Cy Young races we've had in a long time.
It could be, man. And you know what? Regardless of who wins, they both earned it. So I'm not gonna be too upset.
Yeah, and like DeGrom said, he wishes he has more starts. If you think
Right.
about it, this is a third of their starts usually.
I know, it's crazy.
If you take 12 starts out of usually 32, it's like what would this been like if this was a full season for these guys?
Oh my gosh.
The way they're pitching this year.
And DeGrom with, like I said, it's all been messed up from the get-go because of coronavirus. If they all had a good spring training and then we started going, and like you said, these guys are pitching this nasty, who knows at the end of this, man, I can't even imagine. It could have been a great season.
Man, this has been one of the ages for pitching.
Absolutely.
Man, because you don't have like, a guy in each league that has a sub-2 ERA. You're talking about multiple guys with 2 sub-2 ERAs right now. Yes, it's a shorter season. It's just insane.
That's what I'm saying. We're at the end of the season, and you and I are talking about a guy who has a 1.77 ERA, saying it's pretty good, but he's not going to win a Cy Young. A 1.77 ERA. I mean, just think about those 1.8, 1.7, 2.14. I'm just saying these guys are throwing great.
Philly just took the lead.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Braves are crushing the Marlins.
Yeah, they're adding on to it now, but yeah, Philly just took the lead. But
Mets are bettering their situation too.
Yes, they are. But Washington has a shot. Man on second kind of shit. But we'll keep an eye on that. So let's go deep talking to some Mets news right now.
Okay. So yeah, the first thing out there is the Mets. Their chances at the playoffs. You and I both said I think they need to win.
They have to win out.
They have to win out. And not only do they have to win out, the other teams, like the Braves, need to start losing. Or not the Braves, but
Miami and Phillies.
Right.
And so far, they lost last night. Unfortunately, we lost too.
Exactly. We're not helping ourselves.
2-1 loss. It hurts. God. But we need some help. And then the question is, I don't think actually he's playing tonight either. It's Conforto.
Okay.
Everyone's like, oh, it's just a day off yesterday, but he should have pitched hits in the 9th inning, but he didn't. So it's telling me that the injury, I think, is more than what people are saying.
It's not good.
And like our best hitter this year, not in the lineup. And I don't remember. I don't think he's in the lineup tonight.
Who's that?
Conforto.
If he's not in the lineup, there must be something wrong because Conforto is one of our best hitters, and this is crunch time. You got to have him in.
I understand, it's just his day off yesterday, but I'm pulling it up right now. I don't think
you don't need a day off. We're playing 60 games. You're a young guy. This team needs wins now. You got to play Conforto.
No, he's not playing tonight again. So yeah, he's definitely injured.
So something's going on here.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep an eye on that.
That definitely hurts.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, it's gonna be hard. We have the Rays right now. We are winning 3-1. Tomorrow night we get Glasnow, I believe, for the Rays, and then 4 games against the Nationals.
The only thing we can do is win. If the Mets can just win, the rest is going to have to take care of itself. If not, we put up a good effort. But the main thing is they got to take W's. We can't take L's. That's our whole problem. Every time we need to win, we don't get it.
Yeah, and it doesn't help with our best pitcher going last night and not getting a win. Hurts.
Oh, I know, and he definitely put us in a position to win.
Right,
we got to get more than one run. Like you said, the other teams, they're averaging 4 or 5 runs a game. What is wrong?
Yeah, and when we have the best average in baseball, when I pulled up the team stat and that's what we had, I'm like, you got to be joking me right now.
Exactly.
And how are we sub 500 team then? We all know that. It's the damn pitching.
It's the Mets, man. It's the Mets.
It hurts. So we'll see what happens. 3-1 victory. If hopefully the bullpen holds up to this and we win, it's like, okay, there's 1, 5 more to go. Yes, we have a hard, we'll see what Nationals do. I doubt they'll lie down because, they still want to prove that they're defending champs. But
yep.
So, but next news we got to talk about is Steve Cohen is thinking about bringing back our former GM as a new role.
Yeah, man. I don't know what to think about this. He's talking about bringing back Sandy Alderson. And I get it because I think he's worked closely with him and he knows him a little bit. So it makes he's comfortable with the guy. What do you think?
Yeah, he's some form of advisory role. I think because right now Sandy is a special advisor for back his old team, the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
But I think to come back as Met, where his son is still a pro scout for the Mets, is he's going to be in a fixed position. Yeah, because Cohen was on the board for the Mets when, Sandy would come to report. So they became a friendship. So SNY first reported that the idea that, Anderson was the GM for 8 years, last 6, which Cohen was on the partner for the team. He was on the board of the directors. So they got close. And I could see where he could be a senior advisor, like a scenario he can be advisor to anything that can be the team president. Not as a GM role, he could be that president for Cohen.
Well, we'll see. I mean, when Cohen was asked about it, he said it's premature to talk about management decisions, but I'd say with certain baseball people will be running baseball operations.
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy who set us up for where we at right now with pitching and stuff, But if Anderson does come back, expect to from Bush to have Paul deposit return an important role. He was once the Dodgers GM and one of his lieutenants when he was with the Mets before leaving, which now he's the chief strategy officer for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, cool.
So, and Cohen has a relationship with him as well. So it comes to realize where everyone believes is Sandy's going to clean house once he gets approved.
It's fine. I'm not super concerned. I'm just happy that Cohen's going to be the new owner and the Wilpons aren't going to be the owners. So finally stuff can get done.
Yeah, because I believe Anderson had stuff he wanted to do, but Wilpons,
I'm sure,
cuffed him.
Look, we're about to be the new Yankees. That's all there is to it.
And then the rumor of, Cohen's going to bring big guys like Theo's involved. Cashman is thrown out there because he wants to bring winning mentality to the Mets, and he is going to pay for it to get his team. So it's going to be interesting. If he does, Anderson comes back, he could become the president and then get Cashman or Theo come over. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this team, what Cohen does, and if he gets the votes in November. And fortunately, everyone will be like, here's your pink ticket. Goodbye.
I think he'll be fine.
I think so too.
He'll get the votes. So the next thing I want to talk about is Cohen is also going to be getting 3 minor league teams with the deal.
Yeah. Everyone figured that Port St. Lucie and Syracuse was being involved. The shocker is that Brooklyn is going to be part of the deal as well. Both since St. Louis was purchased a couple years ago, so they can have a AAA facility, but the Brooklyn Cyclones technically is not Met. It's Starland Equities portfolio owns Brooklyn Cyclones.
Huh.
So the only team that technically Mets have a contract with, prior to this, is the Colombian Fireflies. But technically their deal ends this season. And with MLB and minor league baseball figuring out what they're going to do, the rumor and thought is that Brooklyn Cyclones will become the AA facility for Mets if they do a 3-team rotation or 4-team, however minor league baseball is.
Which team is the Rumble Ponies?
They are the AA.
Is that one on this list or no?
No.
Okay, so they're not getting that team.
No, I think that's one of the deals. But like I said, that's the team that's rumored to be cut out from the Mets if they go to 3 teams. At Brooklyn, become the new AA Ponies.
Okay, hey man, so. That's pretty exciting though. If Cohen can get 3 minor league teams with the deal, that's great because that's organization all the way through.
Yeah, and we all believe that MLB wants, like we talked about it, where they want them to own it, and Cohen will, if investing in his future, he's going to invest in those properties and up what needs to be done. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Can't wait.
So, and then I just think we could talk about, win or lose the rest of this week. Mets make the playoffs. They don't. They have a busy offseason ahead.
Yeah.
First things first is if Cohen gets the votes, becomes our new owner in November at the league vote is the first thing. But the Mets have given up many ups and downs recent years. The one thing generally has been their pitching rotation.
Yes.
But when Sandy was there, he prioritized it. That's why the postseason, the World Series appearance and then the wild card appearance was pitching. But looking ahead to 2021, the rotation has a lot of questions. DeGrom is the rock. Behind him, David Peterson has looked promising, has potential.
Yes.
Seth Lugo's looking good. until last week, but he's having a great game tonight. So that's looking well. Giselman has not showed up, short opportunity. Of course, Syndergaard has Tommy John. Matz look lost. And Rick Porcello and Waka will be free agents.
We don't need them back.
And then Stroman will be a free agent as well. So they have currently got to fill the rotation. It's a far cry for one team with playoff aspiration, but Matthew Brownstein tweeted this Friday after Matt's start. This is the 51st game of the season tonight. This is the 21st time the Mets starter has failed to record 12 outs in a start this year. That's a whopping 41% of the time. Yikes. So you gotta fill that rotation. So whoever, we just talked about, if he cleans house, whoever comes in, gonna have to come strong real quick, because you're talking about early November the vote. So you're talking about a month before free agency starts. So I hope they're doing their homework. I hope he's already talking to people.
I would say, I was just thinking that he better be talking to people now.
Like who he wants to plug and play. Like, look, I get the votes. You're going to be this. You're going to be this. If he's trying to get, Cashman or Theo, that's you can't really do that right now because, they are under contract. But people who are like, Anderson, who is just advisory for the Oakland A's, he can be talked to, and people he's involved. So first thing first is got to sign one of the top free agent pitchers. You would think either Trevor Bauer or bringing Stroman back is the main thing you'd think you need for a starter.
I think Bauer would be dope. Bauer and DeGrom back to back. Wow.
And then Peterson showed well. Luga showed well. And then Syndergaard come back from Tommy John.
Yes.
You're talking about a scary rotation right there.
I agree. That's what we need. And that's what we're known for. Like, the whole time, the last, 5 or so years, the Mets have always been known as a hard throwing team. And that's like the flamethrowers. And that's what we want.
Yeah. And then hell, if you have the money and the availability, sign both of them.
Oh yeah, you're right. Why not?
Then bullpen, I can think of one name this offseason is Alex Colomi for the White Sox. If White Sox didn't hold on to him, he's having a great couple years. He's a little older, but he can be a bullpen arm that Mets can use.
Okay.
After that, we have talked about JT Realmuto.
Okay.
At least I
know you're really hot on this guy.
Like if you think catcher, because Mets are going to need a catcher.
Yes.
Robert's out. If you think a young guy, this is the guy to get this offseason. Mets tried to trade for him. Miami just wanted too many prospects. They said no, thank you. And apparently Phillies and him and his camp are far apart. So you think he's 29. You can get a 6-7 year deal, hopefully. And he's a great catcher.
Well, yeah, we do need to solidify our catcher because the guy's he's calling the whole game. We need somebody in there who's going to be in there for the long term. I agree, man. We need to go ahead and lock him up.
And the next position I could think of is a true center fielder.
Well, I don't know if we need to lock anybody up. We have plenty of outfielders.
But center fielder is the question. Nimmo has been one of the worst center fielders in baseball this year, defensively.
Okay.
So if there's one name, if a free agent this year, if you think of a big name, a big splash, is George Springer.
Okay.
It all depends on deals, what he's looking for and what Cohen's willing to spend. That's a name. If you think true center fielder who hits, power, and very defensive center fielder, you think of George Springer. So, yeah. And you can easily then move Nimmo to left field, Conforto right. And then, you have, and then technically we all believe DH is staying where Dom Smith can rotate. And then if you do something like that, then JD Davis is more expendable to trade for something we need, like a bullpen arm or something.
Pitching. Yeah. Most likely pitching for us.
And then last thing I think this off season is going to be extending Conforto and extending McNeil.
They must.
Conforto is a guaranteed. His last year, his Cohen next year. Right. McNeil, you could probably get on a more of a team-friendly extension.
Timeout. Washington just hit a 2-run bomb
to win the game.
Oh, bottom of the 8th.
Final innings. It's extra innings.
Oh, final inning
because it was doubleheader today.
Walk off. Go Nationals. Yeah, they sure did, man.
Thank you, Nationals.
Well, how about that?
How about that?
But to go back to what you were saying, man, I absolutely agree. McNeil and Conforto are two key pieces to our organization. We have to lock both of them up. That's got to be priority. That has to be priority.
Yeah, like Conforto is definitely must. McNeil, I think it'd be a great team.
McNeil is too good not to. He's like a Tim Anderson, like you said. Like
you brought him up 2 years ago. He had great, and then his first full year last year, had a breakout year, and then this year had a slow start, but then got hot and still is one of the best averages in baseball.
I
It's like,
like him.
why not?
Right. I think we need to lock both those guys up.
I think so. And then
Um,
Pete, I think it's still too early now with his struggles this year. I think you can have another year before to negotiate with him to have more of a team friendly deal. So, and then yeah, and then
well,
you can kind of look at Syndergaard, but with the injury, you can probably
yeah,
wait till spring training and
he's
see how
lower
he
on the
is.
priority list. I
Yeah,
agree.
but I think
Um,
Conforto is a definitely must this offseason.
have to. Conforto is going to be the future. He's like a David Wright. We got to get him up there. The last thing I want to talk about before we go, according to Mike Ozanian of Forbes, Steve Cohen will reportedly have 30 days after the sale of the team is finalized to place an exclusive bid on SNY.
So yeah, so SNY is under contract till 2030 with the Mets as of right now. So you're talking 9 years if he could not get a deal done
That's what I'm
before he
saying.
can make a deal. Like, you know,
Look, the ball is in his court
so
because the network that's worth $1 billion has an annual equity of 150 million. However, SNY is said to currently be sitting at $850 million in debt.
Mhm.
Who can buy that? I wonder.
So the New York Mets own 65% of SNY.
Okay.
And there's other people who got small percentages, but Mets are majority owners. So if you think about it, he could buy the Mets out and even buy some of the smaller people, or go ahead and buy some of the smaller people and still give Mets, like give, the Wilpons buy half their team where they can still own part of SNY to get some money, but he could buy the other small people and then buy half of them and then become a controlling interest in
Well,
SNY.
yeah. Well, what I'm saying, like you said, the Wilpons own 65% of it, but they're in debt, and he can easily get them out of the debt by buying it at a discount, just like he bought the Mets at a discount. I'm saying, man, this could happen. He needs it to happen. He needs something.
Yeah, if you think about it, he's paying for debt from the Mets from the sale.
Exactly.
So why not, like, that $4 billion offer for both is looking very enticing right now.
It really is. It really is. If you're the Wilpons, how do you not say yes?
Yeah, like you don't like. So you really, if you think about it, if his offer originally was 2 for each, but so it came out 2.4 for the Mets.
Yes.
So you're talking 1.6 billion. But if you're saying it's about 800 million debt,
850 in debt, I think.
God, you're still talking about 800 million if he takes on the debt and then buys the team.
I'm
And
just
the
saying,
team's only
somebody's
worth.
got to pay up that debt.
I think you just go ahead and do it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
You need it because, with the team need a balance, but he's still gonna be the richest owner in baseball and actually in all sports.
That's what I'm saying. He can outright buy SNY and not flinch. See,
So,
this is the reason why he's going to be the owner. A-Rod's group would not be in this position. I don't care
no,
what you say.
yeah, and then with yes, you bought the team, but then you're not gonna make money because you don't have SNY.
Right.
So they would have to like sell the property around the Brown City Field to try to make some money up.
That's not a good start. That's not a good start at all. They're freaking in the couches digging for change trying to buy this team.
And then Cohen has money where he can build up around City Field to make like where like Texas has like an entertainment district so people can pre-game and go post-game and stuff like that. Like, I've been to City, Allen hasn't yet, and it is rough around the stadium. They've been buying up property lately. So I think they are going to try to build something around there. So we'll have to wait and see with that. So,
all right, man. I think that's all I have for today.
Yeah, that's all we got. So 6 days left in the season. It's very interesting and tight. Like you said, Phillies lost their doubleheader against the Nationals today. So that let me refresh the standings real quick and see what that makes their standings right now. So yeah. So now Philly is 6 games behind Atlanta and 1 game out of the wild card because they lost. So that puts, let me pull up that now because postseason standings. Yeah, so now that has Milwaukee in as the 8th seed, and Philly is out now because of that doubleheader loss.
Brew Crew.
So, yeah, that's what the season does, man. And so, as of right now, Mets are 3 games out of the wild card, 2 games behind Philly, and then still 4 games behind Miami. But as of right now, Miami's getting crushed by Atlanta. It's 9-1 now.
Right. Like I said, they're running away with it.
Yeah. So Yankees are leading. So
Oh no. Cleveland Indians just locked it up. They hit a walk-off home run. Jose Ramirez, 17th home run of the season. I think it was a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 10th.
wow. It's
After they were losing. They were
Yeah.
losing.
I saw it says 3-2 right here on top of my thing. It hasn't refreshed yet.
5-3. 5-3.
Oh
Just
man.
locked it up with a walk-off. This is a great day for baseball. So there's another team locked up. I'm pretty sure we called it the Indians. They should
Yeah,
have locked it up.
yeah. So Indians locked it up. So literally that leaves 2 spots left for the AL, which
That's it. Just 2. So that
which
leaves what? 2 wild cards?
No, Cleveland is a wild card.
Cleveland's gonna be the wild card lock.
So
Okay.
what they got open still is the AL West second spot, which is Houston.
Oh yeah.
The final
Houston.
wild card spot, which is Toronto as of right now, but Toronto's losing, so they won't lock it up tonight. But they still could lock it up tomorrow night, depending on the late game. I think it's Seattle and Angels.
Look at Jose Ramirez coming through.
Yeah, Angels play San Diego, and then Seattle's technically losing right now to Houston. So it's a rough night. And then, with baseball ending Sunday, we will most likely do a show Monday night because Tuesday playoffs start.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, Tuesday we'll have 4 games in the AL. And then Wednesday, if you love baseball, you're going to request off or try to take off work because there's 8 games on Wednesday. I don't know how you're going to be flicking channels back and forth between ESPN, CBS, whoever.
They need like a red zone for this, man.
God, yeah, because this is going to be insane come Wednesday.
I don't know what they call it.
And then Thursday will be the same thing if necessary. It'll be game 3 of the AL and game 2 of the NL. And then Friday will be game 3 of any NL series. Then they'll have the weekend off because they all got to travel to the bubble. And then Monday starts every day of baseball until the World Series. So hope y'all are ready. It's going to be fun, interesting postseason. I hope teams are ready. Hope y'all are ready. So we'll see y'all next week. Peace.